How's it going, YouTube? In this video we got a spicy matchup that you probably won't really expect. We have a Digimon deck that's really almost like security control. So it's like a Digimon control deck basically. On the other hand, we have a red and yellow hybrid, which is maybe a bit more common but still kind of rare, I would say. So as you might expect, this might just be a grinding match, but hopefully it's a great match. And let's see what we got. So we got the red yellow players starting off with the TK, while Digimon setting up all those tamers. The Digimon player, she does have the purple base, giving access to Luisthepanda, which Flamon does hit into, while the other deck has access to, like, you know, the standard yellow hybrid shenanigans, but the red gives you like Atomic Inferno and whatnot. I guess similar to how the green-red operates. Some interesting stuff for sure. You know, Jet Sylphie, kind of a broken card, and I guess both players trying to, you know, abuse her. Makes sense. So far, you know, it's just a nice back and forth. Red yellow just getting some sort of chip damage in there, but it's hard against the Jet Sylphie. You can just heal it back up. Zoe gonna just keep digging. You know, Zoe and TK are good for those type of security decks because, like, you take the Digimon out of your security to hopefully leave, you know, better stuff in there basically. Now we're gonna see the other player go into his Jet Sylphie, I assume, right? Because why not? One memory, heal one is pretty good. I think in the future, Jet Sylphie will probably restrict it. If you guys keep up with the Japanese meta, you know that yellow hybrid sticks around. And I feel like Jet Sylphie is the #1 problem card in that deck. But you guys let me know, am I crazy? Because I feel like Jet Sylphie should be restricted. Maybe not today, but as we go into the future. Okay, reinforced memory boost. So it's going to be, again, like a really slow game. Really for both sides. Although red and yellow has that explosive power. With the Atomic Infernos, as you see, you know, ruled by the Boko. With 2 Boko, he's got quite a bit of memory to work with. Let's see, he's got a couple bodies, so it might just be a matter of like swinging at security a bunch and not hitting into a Swordless Tsar. That might be the correct play. There are only 2 tamers on the board right now, so honestly, wouldn't even be the worst. Gonna just set up another tamer and pass. Maybe hold off and then try and win next turn. Is a part with the, like, the Digimon control deck where, like, she has no proactive plays, right? Has to just play more tamers, kind of pass, wait. Okay, so because he has 2 Boko, he's actually gaining memory for going into a hybrid, which is pretty strong. Has a ton of bodies on the board, and there's the Atomic Inferno, which could just potentially, you know, burn through that security as well. You can see he does still play some red tamers. Takuya's in there. I assume that you also play Emperor Greymon. I believe Emperor Greymon doesn't care what, I believe he doesn't care what color the hybrids are from the trash. Hits into the Kari though, which is definitely going to stop him from trying to win this turn, although I guess he already didn't really have enough memory to work with. I can't imagine he plays Gravity Crush, right? The purple Kari is kind of annoying, but right now it's not that bad. He's just going to keep setting up wide. This is like a really strong board, and the Digimon player has really not much to do here. Swordless Tsar is really the only thing, and it's not gonna even answer the full board, I don't think, right? Yeah, it's just too many bodies. She has 4 tamers, right? Not 5 with the Kari. I mean, it's still the play, right? What else can you do? Okay, so the Dynasmon survives. But there's still, you know, Dynasmon, Rookie from Racing, and another tamer for hybrid. Into Susano, there's the Digimon security, and that should be hybrid for game. Okay, so in that game, the Digimon deck, I think she didn't have a good hand, and she kind of just got ran over by the red-yellow player going wide, which, you know, historically, like, going wide is supposed to be good against the security control type of decks. Now, obviously, there's things like Swordless Tsars that could punish that. But, you know, there was one insecurity earlier on, didn't do too much. And when she had the second one, even though it was still a good answer to the board, it obviously was not good enough, right? But I feel like we didn't really get to see much of the actual Digimon come into play. So I definitely like to see more of that. Digimon, you know, again, I absolutely love Digimon. I think she's a very good Digimon. And she could do a lot for this type of decks, right? I'm really excited for the new Digimon in BT8 as well. I cannot wait to try that. It's definitely going to be completely different though. Anyway, here we are into game 2. Looks like the red-yellow hybrid player chose to mulligan. His deck seems pretty interesting though. I mean it's cool, right? It's definitely cool. Like I respect people, you know, trying to mix colors, try and make it work. There's definitely a lot of cool ideas there. Like I know Eggman had a really cool yellow-red deck where the red part of it was like an Agu Bond package to close the game out, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. So yeah, it's cool to see people, you know, trying to do different things. Gonna just be swinging. Tactical retreat is gonna ensure that memory, the recovery. And I think going wide is correct. That's how he won the game last turn. So, you know, go back to that strategy. Just gonna play another TK. Keep digging through that security. I know that I put the videos like a little bit faster than usual. It's because like it was a really long match, man, and like I don't want to have like a 30-minute video, right? So if it goes by too quick, bear with me. It's still a slow game and a slow matchup, right? And hey, sometimes maybe we're gonna just chill and think about the situation. Okay, shortlist star already. It's only gonna clear 2 bodies, but you know, maybe she doesn't want to fall behind like last time where the board just got super wide and there was no answer. Flamemon gonna keep on chipping. Another Pokemon. So honestly, the red yellow player doing a good job of just, you know, keeping up the pressure, putting that chip damage, and I guess, you know, waiting to set up that explosive like Atomic Inferno turn. That card is so strong. Gonna take out the Kuya from the. Okay, we see Zephyr. There's the Jet Sylphie. Again, Jet Sylphie just so good. We're going to a Mastemon maybe. Nope, just another purple Kari. The purple Karis early on is like not that bad, but once you have 2, 3, or 4 purple Karis, it's just so obnoxious. Makes it so hard to, you know, deal like significant damage. Red yellow is gonna set up more tamers. Definitely, you know, doing a count of how many hybrids are in trash. For I assume he plays Burning Greymon or Emperor Greymon. I always confuse the 2 names, but yeah, I assume he does play it. Boko gonna be able to pick up a tamer and a Jet Sylphie, but takes the level 4 instead, I believe. Now it's the Mastemon player that's going a bit wide here potentially, and there's the 3rd Kari. Yeah, at this point, every single hit is just, it's a yikes, right? You have to pass over through memory. That's actually so annoying. Because of the Gastimon, you know, the double Bokos are not going to work, but he's still able to go into the Jet Sylphie and even plays the BT1 Seraphimon for additional healing. So you can see like the yellow part of the hybrid package just provides so much heal with the Jet Sylphie. And then, you know, there's a bunch of level 6 yellow Digimon you can use to get additional heals. We see another short Lissar coming out from Mastemon to clear the board. Atomic Inferno is the board clear of choice for the yellow-red. Makes sense. Atomic Inferno, a pretty powerful option card. And definitely something that's worth playing, I believe. Like, I feel like if you are going to dip into a red package, you know, make it something that's better than just Atomic Inferno. Atomic Inferno is insane, right? But like, there's got to be another reason why you're going to it. And like something like the Burning Emperor Greymon, Atomic Inferno, or Blast, confuse the names. So seeing, you know, getting as much as you can out of the red package, I guess. There's another Lissar in security. And Luisthepanda actually just clears this Seraphimon. That's actually super fortunate for the Mastemon player, I feel like. That 10k beater was putting in work. Although I guess she could have just like maybe swung over with Mastemon or something. But hey, now she doesn't have to worry about that. She's down quite a bit in security though. But with the reinforced, has a ton of memory to work with. And I really want to see, please let me see Mastemon come out and do something. Wind Raid. I believe with Wind Raid you have to discard a card of the color you're Digivolving into, not the color that you are. And I could be wrong about that, but you guys let me know in the comments. Like there she discarded a yellow card to go into Mastemon, which I think is incorrect. But I'm going to have to double check that. But goes into the Mastemon, gets the Luisthepanda for heal, and then goes into a Sword Defeat. So honestly, pretty good. One of the things about playing Mastemon is that as a purple level 6, you can Digivolve into Sword Defeat. And in a deck like this where you're recovering so much, as a security control deck if you will, like, I mean Sword Defeat is just so good, right? So it makes sense that you want to play that. That said though, after all that, she's still only at 3 security. The red yellow player has, you know, 2 bodies, potential Takuya shenanigans. The problem is that the triple purple Kari just makes it so awkward and really limits what he could do in a single turn. So those Karis definitely putting in work, and you know, they have good synergy with Mastermind in general as well. Gonna see if we're gonna start swinging. Gonna use one of the TKs. There's Jet Sylphie. And here's the problem, right? If you don't clear, if you don't have the damage, they could just keep healing. Has so much recovery in the deck. And then that security becomes super scary, right? Goes into a Dynasmon. Dynasmon doesn't heal on Digivolution, but you know, essentially extra life as long as he's around. And I think like the red-yellow deck, I don't think he's playing things like Wyvern's Breath. I don't know how he can answer either the Dynasmon or the Sword Defeat. And with the triple Karis, it's going to be really tough for him to be able to push through. So I'm curious to see, you know, what his strategy would be. He does play Gaia Force though, which I respect. No Wyverns, but hey, Gaia Force still pretty good. And why not just instantly go back into another Dynasmon and reset the situation? I like this. It's a solid play from Mastamon. It's like, hey, you were already struggling with my board last turn, and you spent a lot of memory to answer it, so why don't we just repeat the exact same situation? Zoe coming out, but again, because of the Kari, like everything's just so expensive basically. Any potential attack is 3 memory loss, which is massive. So we could try and go wide and try and swing on, you know, 1 turn for game. Hits into another Gaia Force Insecurity. So hey, both the Dynasmon get Gaia Force. That's actually really, really funny. The Atomic Blast doesn't actually clear anything because everything is above 8,000. The Luisthepanda actually putting in work. Like a 10k beater is super annoying. And you know, being able to be brought back with Mastamon. Or maybe even Hardcast for 5. It's still pretty solid. Gonna retreat the Sword Defeat. That's interesting. So you give up the body, which was already put in a good amount of pressure. But you essentially guarantee that you're going to get it back later on. Although you leave it up to your opponent too when they choose to deal with it. So pretty interesting. Okay, gonna go into a Boko. At some point, you know, in this type of decks and matchups, decking out becomes a very real thing. And when you play against type of decks, you have to consider like, am I going to win? Or am I more likely to win through security or through deck out? Or like, hey, could I get decked out? Because sometimes when you're Digivolving left and right and your opponent's just not really doing anything, like you will deck out before them for sure. At the same time though, if they're Digivolving and they're recovering a bunch, then they're going through a lot of cards in their decks. So red-yellow, once again, just gonna go super wide. I like this strategy. I think, you know, it's the best chance that he has to win the game. We've seen, I believe, like 2 or 3 shortlist hours be played already. And aside from that, there shouldn't really be any other like wide board clears, I don't think. So I like that strategy. Goes into a Casamon. That's the final TK. So it is a big commitment. But she did have yet another shortlist R, able to clear 4 Digimon, which is a good amount of bodies. And I believe that's the last one, but maybe it's the, you know, maybe it's just enough. Now the red-yellow player has no eggs, and it's like really hard for him to get those extra swings. Gonna once again try and just go wide. I believe at this point there should not be any more shortlist R's, right? But still, every hit is like 3 memory loss. I believe that's the last card in the deck though, meaning that she has to Susano to not deck out. The Susano is there, which is gonna keep her from losing the game. Susano very strong for that. You know, as a body, it's cool. You right clear Digimon, and then you get a pretty strong beater that can check for 3. But honestly, the fact that he saves you from decking out, maybe his strongest part for these type of decks. We've already seen Double Gaia Force come out. I don't know if he would have another one. The Sword Defeat was there, and that's another Sword Defeat, which is unfortunate for him, to say the least. And that's what we call a Digimon board. Susano, 2 defeats, showing us that he does play the Emperor Greymon, which again, I don't believe cares about the color, so it's kind of a cool thing about the deck, right? You can definitely get use out of those yellow hybrids. Swinging for 2 checks, and hey, that's another Sword Defeat. Well, at this point, there's just too many bodies on the board. Not enough Gaia Forces to go around. Susano checks for 3 anyway. Hits into a Zoe, it's an Inferno, and that's going to be game 2 going to the Mastamon. So a really grindy game for sure. I like the plays from red-yellow. He had solid game plan, And I think that, you know, him going pretty wide was the correct choice. It is how he won the first game. However, we did have the short Lizards exactly when they were needed for Mastamon. And then at risk of, you know, decking out, she also had the Susanamon to stay in the game and then close it out. So a grindy game for sure, but a nice back and forth. I think that if you're going into a deck like the Mastamon deck, you know, the triple card is just so annoying. I feel like early on the red and yellow might have a better chance if you can get a good Atomic Inferno with a Jet Sylphie to, like, you know, punch through a bunch of security. But we'll see how game 3 goes. The sword defeats were definitely super annoying as well. And although we only saw Mastamon once, she did have a pretty solid play, right? Bringing back the Lucemon and then being able to be Digivolved into the sword defeat. It looks like we are going to see a mulligan. I assume that Mastamon is going first. He does have a rookie. Yeah, it's off to a good start. I don't think we've seen any other purple rookies, so it's probably just the Gassimon, right? Gonna start with a Zoe. Once again, dig through that security, see what's in there. Take a hybrid out of there, put something else in there. Gaussmon coming out for red and yellow. Bokomon for the searches. Hey, he got the Emperor and the Takuya, so pretty set up, at least in the red department. And now the Zoe will likely set him up for the yellow side of this deck. Sometimes when you mix these colors, you kind of like lose some consistency. But because the way the hybrids work with, you know, support cards like Bokomon, you could just kind of grab everything. Sometimes you don't really feel that at all, right? Like Boko, he's always got your back no matter what. We see a very early Jet Sylphie, gonna go up to 6 security, and then, hey, another Zoe. Pick up another Casimon out of the deck. Going for the heal early on, you know, it's pretty solid. Jet Sylphie, you know, again, just too strong. And it makes it hard for the red-yellow player to go wide, I think. Although, like, as soon as the game starts is when you want to go wide, when the Sword Lizard would be as weak as possible and they don't have the Kari set up. So yeah, he's gonna just hard cast another Digimon, get the Gaussmon up to, I believe they go to 5,000 when there's 2 of them, which seems like a pretty solid play. Tactical retreat just to get another life back, and then you could take the Jet Sylphie out of the security because Jet Sylphie is insane. So I do like that play. You know, we don't know what's in her security, but she does, so maybe she's ready. And like, does the red and yellow just start swinging? Ooh, that Flamon was really swinging, that's for sure. Okay. So those 3 bodies, but yeah, just so much security he has to go through. Like, you'd think the red package gives you the punching power with the Infernos, the extra security checks, but man, that is a struggle to get through. There is the Sword Lizard, clearing only 2 Digimon. The Casimon survives though, which is the, you know, good thing. A lot of times you hit into security and you're hitting into like these tamers. So like your Digimon are gonna survive, right? It might take 2 or 3 turns, but we'll see how Mastamon answers back. We know she has another Jet Sylphie, instantly goes into it. Jet Sylphie can be used to swing over. But he actually has to pass, or she has to pass turn because of the Gaussmon, means that she can't reduce the devotion cost on the Jet Sylphie, and maybe she forgot about that. So, you know, the Gaussmon actually doing a lot there for sure. That said though, even through that, I feel like Mastamon players still doing okay. You know, just keep setting up those tamers. They can actually memory choke each other, there's no TKs. But the red-yellow has quite a bit of pressure, you know, 2 bodies on the board, Flamon in the back, 2 tamers set up, takes another Jet Sylphie out of security. It's a very interesting game, you know, like sometimes you play against these decks and they're like kind of annoying, but it's like when they play against each other, how does that go, right? He actually chooses to clear the Gassimon there, as opposed to taking out his Jet Sylphie. Maybe he knows he's gonna have a good answer to the Jet Sylphie anyway, or wants to deny the Gassimon for whatever reason. Just to stay in the back with the Flamemon, so not committed to going super wide just yet. And okay, through the TK and Kari, you can give the opposing Jet Sylphie minus 1,000 to swing over it. A really solid play. I do like this. This is good because next turn they set up to have, you know, potentially 4 bodies, plus the 2 tamers, and that Takuya that could actually be an Emperor Greymon. So a really solid turn overall. I like it. And now for Mastamon, like sure, she's got a couple tamers, but aside from that, not too much. Gonna just play down the double Kari to potentially slow down the red-yellow. But is it gonna be enough? One swing, two swing. Oh, there is another Swordless R security, and that definitely saves her. So Swordless R being, you know, an insanely powerful card. Looks like he's gonna go into the Emperor right away. Honestly, I like the idea of it because like Emperor might just survive if they have no way to deal with it. But he hits into a Sword Defeat, which can then just swing right over the Emperor, which is unfortunate for him. But I think the idea is good, right? Like, you make an Emperor that's going to be able to swing for 2 checks every turn. It shouldn't really die to anything. I don't believe that we've seen Wyvern or something like that. So I like the idea of it. Sadly, their hit into a Sword Defeat is just terrible. Like, actually hurts them so much. Because I really feel like that Emperor could have done so much work. Gonna go into a Boko, gets the double pickup. And, you know, she's able to heal to not be at risk of dying. Plus, can still go back to the memory choke. And I just see a Boko. I like it. Boko is like a way to potentially guarantee extra swings. And, you know, he have the memory to go into a hybrid next turn. But the Tekinkari is going to give her extra memory. She's got 3 bodies on the board, hybrids to work with, and that's going to be game going to the Mastamon. So a really interesting match, kind of a long grind in the game, but I hope you guys enjoy that. Thanks for watching.